in the YouTube studio. So here we go again. Welcome to the Vigorous Q&A, guys. It's already Saturday. I hope you guys had a great week and enjoyed the previous Vigorous Q&A. I had a full week of posting content. So we did the male fertility protocols, which was 2.5 hours. Nobody watched it, but that's okay. You will watch it when you're ready to get your partner pregnant. We also did a male fertility protocols addendum live stream, which was over an hour, where people could ask questions. So that door is now closed. That live stream has already taken place. So if you want additional fertility advice, that's what the consultations are there for. And we did the Operation Follistatin baseline blood work parameters and basically discussing how everything is going to take place with Epicatechin and YK11 and Follistatin 344 over the next 12 weeks or so. So give that a watch if you haven't watched it already. I started 190 milligrams Epicatechin upon waking, and it already starts to work. Pumps are getting better. I'm getting stronger, a little bit drier, and my joints also start to feel a little bit creaky. So I might have a little bit of a hunch that this dryness and squeakiness that you get from YK11 is not from the YK11 itself potentiating effects through the androgen receptor, but actually the follistatin increases. Now, it's been 1 week and 190 milligrams Epicatechin so far, so it's not the full dose of 380 milligrams over the day, right? That's basically the maximum dose based on the scientific evidence. So that's 2 capsules per day. But so far, I could say that I get a little bit of joint dryness, so I'm not entirely sure if it can last the entire 12 weeks. But we're going to push through. Okay, let's do the disclaimer again before we get and talk about performance-enhancing drugs. Oh my God! All right, we got that out of the way. Let's see. Oh yeah, next week. So I hired another editor, and he's chopping up all of my long form content into short form content. Not shorts, but like just straight to the point, 8 minutes, 10 minutes, 12 minutes, 15 minutes at maximum, straight to the point of what I'm discussing in a particular segment of these deep dives in the podcast. So he's working on the Anabolic roundtable right now. So from Monday onwards on the Clips channel, and I would highly appreciate if you guys subscribe so I can monetize that channel as soon as possible, have an additional revenue stream, because all of these editors are costing me an arm and a leg and a couple testicles and a kidney. So shit ain't cheap, bro. So the Clips channel is linked down below. It's called Vigorous Clips. From Monday, we're going to upload 3 videos per day, starting with all of the Anabolic roundtables, episode 1 to 9. So the entire tier list, every compound that we classified in a particular tier will have a separate video. So you don't have to search throughout the podcast and use the timestamps. It's too much work. I get it. It's too cumbersome, too annoying. Oh, so frustrating. So it will all be on the Clips channel. And yeah, and then we'll just pump out more and more content of the stuff we've already done, but get the views and the subscribers going on that channel. So subscribe now so you don't miss anything. And then, yeah, step 3, I don't know, but step 4 is certainly profit. Okay, and my editor also started his own YouTube channel. You can follow him on Editor Andrew, and he'll be releasing, I think, a video once per week, or maybe 2 videos per week, depending on how busy he is, how much extra free time he has after working through my deep dives, where you can learn about how to edit content like that. So he wants to do a little bit of a side hustle. You can subscribe down below on the Editor or Editor Andrew official YouTube channel, and then he'll have a little bit of a backup in case I fire him. No, it's not going to happen, but he'll have a little bit of a backup in case I decide to retire and produce less and less and less content, obviously. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to retire immediately. I just signed a new contract with the guys, so we're good for the next year. But eventually, we're going to take a little bit of a step back. I want to focus on my kids that are on the way. So he needs, he's going to start his own YouTube channel, so you can learn from his experience through this YouTube channel on what you can do, because, well, editors are always in the mood to learn more skills. And then on his YouTube channel, you should be able to learn all of the skills that we apply on this YouTube channel. All right. What else? Oh, yeah, as usual, questions about BPC 157 and TB 500. All the videos are linked down below, so you don't have to ask. I already got that covered for you. All right, let's scroll up a little bit to the member questions. Skull asks, I know you recently referenced your MMA stack video. I know you said to drop HCG 3 weeks out. What about the testosterone? So you purely drop the HCG out to lower estradiol levels and have more of a stamina boost. So you keep the testosterone in. Keep the testosterone in because HCG and growth hormone and some of the other compounds that I discussed in the MMA video, it makes you hard to make weight. So if you can drop 5 pounds, 7 pounds and make weight into your weight class of MMA, you keep the testosterone in, or you might have to lower the dose slightly depending on how much water and weight it makes you hold. So all the water retentive stuff like HCG and growth hormone, you drop 2 to 3 weeks out before you start to make weight. And then, you keep all the performance enhancing compounds in, like testosterone at a low and effective dose that's around TRT, or cardarine, or myoinositol tripyrophosphate, or, what is it? Diisopropylamine dichloroacetate, all that stuff, mitochondrial support aids. That all stays in there because it doesn't put weight on you, but HCG, growth hormone, and nandrolone, if you're taking that during the off season, you cut that out also well in advance, so you can make weight easier and then pummel somebody's face in. Should that be dropped from the usual TRD dose or tapered down or kept the same? Yeah, that kind of depends on how much water and weight you hold on the testosterone. W. Davidov asks, started growth hormone 2 weeks ago. 2 I use subcutaneous before bed. I normally fall asleep easily, but since starting, I've been waking up at 3 a.m. wide awake. What could be causing this, and what can I do to fix it? Train harder. Train harder. Make sure you don't have a guilty conscience so you can sleep easy. You'd be surprised how many people have a guilty conscience, dude, before they go to bed. But it could be through thyroid conversion. So growth hormone is known to increase thyroid conversion through the dehydrogenase enzymes, converting T4 into T3, and T3 can keep you awake. So so that's why I usually don't tell people to take T3 before bed, but growth hormone and T4 before bed usually is okay because you rely on your natural body or your body's natural conversion rate. But in your case, it might be too much. So if you go to bed, let's say 10 o'clock and 3 a.m., you're wide awake, then yeah, that could be towards the tail end of your sub-Q injection of the growth hormone, and now DNA's enzyme activity is upregulated, increasing thyroid hormone levels, which can stimulate you to keep you awake. So maybe pin it sub-Q upon waking before fasted cardio, and then see if you're sleepy or not sleepy at any point during the day, and then hopefully your sleep quality improves overnight again. Right? So again, individual response is different. Experiment a little bit to see what protocol works best for you. Maxwell asks, hey Steve, I didn't go to the gym for some time and I'm experiencing muscle atrophy because of it. The pain is super intense, like my glutes can tear off any moment. Did you experience anything like this before, or have heard of this anything before? I've never heard of that before, but it sounds like a blood flow issue. Even when I fasted for like 6 weeks straight to resolve the non-alcoholic fatty liver disease with diet breaks in between. And when I took 2 months off recently, I did not experience that, but I always keep my cardio in, or at least to the best of my abilities, because, I had leg surgery, so I just started cardio 2 weeks ago, and now I'm back up to my usual performance. So for you, increase your activity during the day because you need blood flow to the lower body. So if it's intense in the glutes, that it sounds like inflammation or impaired blood flow or some sort of tightness. So deep tissue massage therapy and then cardio, and I think you'll be able to fix that. And you can do cardio anywhere. You can do it outside in front of your house or condominium. You don't need to go to the gym. Adrian Ton asks, good day, Daddy Steve. Very excited to see Jadzia soon. Yes, my daughter's name. I got some cool outfits for her. Oh, really? Okay. Well, I guess we'll meet in Thailand or Singapore soon. May I ask you, please, you recommend intermittent fasting, 8 to 6 hour eating window to get rid of stubborn lower back fat. If I cramped in my total calories within that 8 to 6 hours, from your observation, do you lose some strength and muscle? No, not really. Not really. Depends on your muscle mass. Like, I mean, you're pretty streamlined. You're not as big as you used to be, and you're certainly not 300 pounds. So if you're 300 pounds, then intermittent fasting might impair your strength because you only have, nutrients coming in 8 to 6 hours over the day. But at our size, let's say around 100 kilos, 110 kilos, I think it's totally fine, man. Recommended for physique athletes. Yeah, you could do it. You're a little bit older now, so your metabolism is slowing down. But if you want to get rid of your stubborn lower back fat, then it's not necessarily about reducing your eating window, but it's about reducing insulin response, because insulin seems to favorably store fat or carbohydrates, turning into fat on the lower back. And of course, you could use yohimbine or ribosine to help with fat loss off the lower back, but it kind of makes you feel shitty. And the older you are, the more shitty you feel on yohimbine and ribosine, it seems. So in your case, maybe go to a ketogenic diet and take some lipolytic aids like erythropoietin and growth hormone to kind of help slowly cannibalize the fat off your lower back while you're doing a ketogenic diet. Like my lower back is in way before my glutes are in. So and I always do a ketogenic diet. So give that a try, and then you can eat protein, veggies, and a little bit of fat from healthy fat sources a couple times per day. You don't need to fast because you're fasting from carbohydrates. Your insulin secretion is low throughout the entire day anyway. Commission asks, I turned one of my daily 30-minute cardio sessions each week into a high-intensity interval training session. Would it be superior to turn all my daily cardio sessions into HIIT in terms of cardiovascular health? Yes, but you would need to build that up. And most people top out at 3 to 4 HIIT sessions per week. Because if you're also doing, strenuous exercise, especially for the lower body, the legs, then that's a lot of HIIT for the legs, man. That's basically 1 or 2 leg workouts per week, and then another 3 to 4 HIIT sessions on top of that per week. And yeah, it might kind of shrink your leg or make it very fatigued, and then you're just dead fucking tired. So why don't you try 2 HIIT sessions per week for a month, and then 3, and then 4, and see if that's improving your cardiovascular health. But I think the benefits, if I remember correctly, it's been a while since I looked into the scientific evidence for training or HIIT. I think it was already observed on 3 to 4 HIIT sessions per week. So why do it beyond it if it just means that your legs are going to shrink more? So again, if you have phenomenal legs and it makes you grow, then go right ahead. But most people experience some atrophy by doing HIIT frequently. Mouth dry as fuck. Must be all that weed that I've been smoking. Cotton mouth. No way, I'd be sleeping right now if I smoke weed. It's been decades. Ask good evening, Daddy, Papa Steve. Did you ever get into powerlifting or any other sports when you started PEDs? No, I had my powerlifting phase when I was natural. So I tried to bench 3 plates, but I could never do that as a natural. I deadlifted 5 plates and squatted 4 plates. But of course, from a powerlifting perspective, that's kind of pathetic. So I thought I was strong at the time, but nowadays it's like warm up weight for most guys, and we don't have the training modalities, or back then we didn't have the training modalities and the insights into how to really structure that we did back then. And again, I was just a hobby bodybuilder, tried to lift as heavy as possible with good form. So no, as soon as I started getting into PEDs, I kind of increased my rep range because I didn't want to tear anything. So I just took PEDs during bodybuilding, but I did train pretty heavy at one point. Yeah, I did train pretty freaking heavy. Yeah, do I have the Operation Gyno pictures here? No, Operation Follistatin I have, but not Gyno. So if you go to the Operation Gyno video where I discuss my recovery stack, you see some pictures of what I looked like. And then I think the last broker's pictures where I was about 105 kilos shredded, I was like training balls to the wall, like fucking insane. 10 plates on a leg press, knees to chest, that kind of stuff. Yeah. I'm not as strong like that anymore, man. I'm getting old. All right. Let's see. Audios. Nobody's complaining about the audio, so let's get into some more questions. Everybody complaining about the audio. All right. Well, I guess we're good now. All right. Michael Jackson asks, I've got itchy nips, tiny lumps behind the left nipple, prolactin and estradiol well in range, 300 testosterone, 150 primo for I use growth hormone, no 19 Norse. Any cause, test, fixes? Thanks. It could be that you have localized estrone to estradiol conversion within the tissue around the gynecomastia area. You would not be able to test that because, again, testosterone converts into estradiol, or estrone converts into estradiol within the tissue itself, and then whatever you can detect in serum is basically a spilling over effect, similar to how testosterone converts in the tissue into that testosterone, and then whatever you detect in serum is what came out of the tissue again. The testosterone obviously is coming from your injection depot or from the testicles. So yeah, it could be that your estradiol levels within the nipple tissue is high, but in serum it's normal/low. And the only way to kind of block that is by taking tamoxifen or raloxifene, which again are linked to blood clots, so it's a risk. But if you want to get rid of it and your estradiol levels are in range, then 120 milligrams raloxifene is the one that blocks the estrogen receptors quite favorably when it comes to gynecomastia tissue, and it can shrink it for about half. But if you really want to fix it, you need to do surgery. So yeah, surgery is the way to fix it, and raloxifene is the way to kind of deal with the symptoms. But as soon as you stop raloxifene within a month or two, then the gyno is back to its previous size. So it is what it is. All right. Hey Steve, getting wisdom teeth removed. Should I discontinue any gear ancillary subs before the surgery? Is there any way to speed up the recovery with peptides? Yeah, so basically all the peptide recovery stack, it's linked down below, so you can just watch those videos. But for wisdom teeth removal, you don't need full anesthesia. I had my wisdom teeth removed. First I did one side, and then the other side a month later. So this was healed, and then I could chew normally again. Then I removed the other side, and then that was healed a couple weeks later. So they usually do like some sort of localized anesthesia, and then they slice it open and break it out, and yeah, it's kind of brutal. I remember like the ones here, the molars in the back, right, or wisdom teeth in the back, they're like embedded in my jaw and tilted. So the guy's like, "Ooh, we're gonna have to cut that out." So he made an incision around it, removed a little bit of flesh, basically, and then he's like, "Oh, that's really embedded in their heart." So he took a fucking like a chisel, and just went boop, then break, boop, then break, and then it broke in two pieces, and then he took it out. It literally felt like somebody's opening up a can of Coke. When you open up a can of Coke, you have that distinct ripping of the metal, and then that psh, and that's exactly what it sounded and felt like regarding the vibrations. But it didn't feel a thing because my jaw was properly numb. So you don't need full anesthesia for that. That means you can continue all your gear, ancillaries, and supplements. But maybe you do a little bit of a consultation with them first, because vitamin E and fish oil can prevent blood clotting, obviously. And if they have to remove a lot of flesh by taking your wisdom teeth out, then you might be bleeding profusely in the mouth, and that's not nice, obviously. So at least stop the fish oil and vitamin E about 2 weeks before the scheduled surgery, and the rest, I think you can leave it in. Yeah, and then it's the TB500, BBC 157, growth hormone, GHK copper, micronized progesterone, vitamin K at higher dosages, vitamin D3 at higher dosages to kind of help heal the bone tissue that might have been, damaged a little bit during the surgery. But again, it's all discussed in the videos down below. We don't need to mention that every single week. Sure, you can find it. King David. Oh, wait. Let's do this one. Multiple sclerosis is, is asking, is the judging standard for a pro card higher in Europe than the shows for the USA? Dude, I haven't watched a pro show in Europe in decades, man. I think the last one I went to was a FIBO show in Germany when FIBO still had amateurs. Um, it's been forever. I guess everybody's watching the Arnold Classic now, because by the time you should have like 250 to 300 people in the live stream. But I guess everybody wants to watch the bikini class instead of asking Steve questions, which is fine. Right? That booty needs some love too. I get it. So I have no idea, man. It's show to show. Like, some shows are very high standard, and then sometimes it's low standard, but you never know who shows up. So sometimes people win a pro card, and you're like, how the fuck did he get a pro card? But it's just simply because he was not up to par, but everybody else was not up to par. So he was the best out of the guys that were, not up to par. And then you get a pro card based on how many people there are. So Like Sam Sulek got a pro card, he looked fucking good, and he did improve. You know, his posing was improved. His leg separation still wasn't up to par where it should be, but give him a break. It's his second show, man. I mean, at least he was in conditioned, and then the fullness and the posing, that's just something that needs to be developed over, you know, the next couple of years. I think he did very well for somebody who was reasonably new to this sport without the coach or team that has experience backstage, but because apparently he did all himself with this team of entourage. So kudos to him. Nice work. I'm surprised he didn't do Arnold Classic. Yeah, pro, right? The Arnold Classic physique class in pro, because you get your pro card, you should be able to compete the next day if you want to. Should have just jumped in. All right, but maybe you got scared. I love watching the roundtables for all the additional random knowledge that gets talked about. Yeah, I love it too, man. It's great to talk to Kurt and Dean. Now, Dean is, I think he's on holiday somewhere now, and Kurt is obviously at the Arnold Classic. So we'll record probably next week, I think, on Thursday. Yeah, Thursday evening. Yeah, so looking forward to that. Hey Steve, do you know if oral minoxidil 5 milligrams interact with Mirabegron? I can't find any info on this. I know that minoxidil is a steroidogenesis inhibitor. And Mirabegron was it cytochrome T2A1 that it inhibits? Minoxidil is primarily metabolized in the liver. I don't know off the top of my head, man, and it would take me some time to piece that together. Um, so yeah, Mirabegron, tip 2D6. Mirabegron is a moderate inhibitor of cytochrome P450 2D6. All right, CYP2D6. Let's see what Wiki says. All right, don't give me a break. This is not shit I intend to remember. Ligands. No. Minoxidil doesn't seem to be a ligand for cytochrome 2D6. Anything else that's in there? Tamoxifen. No, I don't think there's a drug interaction there, because I do know that minoxidil inhibits various cytochrome P450 enzymes or steroidogenic enzymes, and that could alter your sex hormone cascade. But Mirabegron seems to mostly inhibit the metabolism of several SSRIs, opioids, antipsychotics, beta blockers, stimulants, and LSD. Yeah. So if you want your LSD to work better, take some Mirabegron. It's not a microdose. What the fuck? Why is everything moving? So no, I don't think that there's a drug interaction, but otherwise, do some more research. Off the top of my head, I can't remember what minoxidil actually inhibits, but as far as I remember, there should not be a drug interaction there. Will MK677 oral and injectable BPC, you mean, be beneficial if injected around the pubic area? Been dealing with some pelvic floor issues causing ED. I think you need to do an ultrasound to see what's going on. See if there's any structural issues. I discuss all of this in the fertility video. So if you go to the fertility video, the male fertility periodicals video, I discuss ultrasounds, what it can diagnose. And I think it can diagnose issues with blood flow or other structural issues in the pelvic floor. You might have to do a prostatic ultrasound at the same time, because just throwing the medications at it, if there's a structural issue, it might not resolve it. So, and again, it sounds a little bit more complicated than what you're trying to prescribe, right? Do you have like super tight muscles in the pelvic floor? Do you have benign prostate enlargement? Do you have artery calcification that prevent blood flow to the penis? So, and all that shit you need to diagnose with imaging. It's not something I can do over the internet, and I'm not even sure if this would work. But yeah, MK677 and BPC157 are not known to help with erectile dysfunction. That might make your penis bigger. But, for that, you need to do the bathmate protocol, which will be dropping after the cerebral Lysin deep dive. Yeah, the methylene blue deep dive is recorded. It should drop. I don't think it's going to be done next week because it's an hour long, of course. And my editor got about 20 minutes in. So by the time he's done, it's probably Thursday. And then I need to go through the draft Friday. And I don't upload videos on Friday because nobody watches. So, yeah, it will be the week after Monday. Any causes and reasons for getting up at night and pissing 1 to 3 times a night? I do drink over a gallon of water a day, and I've recently added in Tren 180 milligrams. Could this be why? Yeah, Tren just makes you retain water during the day, and then you piss it out at night. It's part of the game, man. Take some Mirabegron. It will make you hold your pee, allowing your bladder to relax, and it might prevent some of the bronchoconstriction of trenbolone, even though it works on the beta-3 adrenergic receptors, not on the beta-2 adrenergic receptors. Anecdotally, from people who've tried Mirabegron, seems that trenbolone is a little bit more tolerable, and it helps with fat loss. So if you're taking Tren, it's probably for fat loss or a fat loss phase. Might as well throw the Mirabegron at it. Yeah, drinking less than a gallon of water is not an idea. So it just means that you hold it during the day and then you dump it all at night. It's part of the game, man. Welcome to bodybuilding. Benefits of being a type 1 diabetic on PEDs, if any. Well, you learn how to control your blood glucose levels by the use of insulin, obviously. So you might have more of a benefit compared to other people who don't take insulin, because insulin is pretty fucking anabolic if you use it right. So, yeah, that would be my answer to that. Does insulin help partitioning? It helps shuttling, but not partitioning. You need thyroid hormones and enzymes for partitioning. But insulin shuttles partitioned compounds. So if you have T3, for example, or B vitamins, or in particular enzymes like peptidases or proteases or lipases, right? All those help with the breakdown and partitioning of foods, and then insulin helps to absorb the partitioned building blocks, basically glucose, amino acids, etc. Carnitine shuttling also allegedly helps or is also improved. Creatine shuttling is also improved when you take insulin. So yeah, almost correct. Hey, Uncle Steve, appreciate all the information you provided. About a month ago, I used 24 hours and they have not sent yet. I have not responded to my emails. Okay, please contact me by email and I'll sort it out for you. Sorry that this happened. Sometimes they're just flooded with emails and, customer service is not the greatest. So just forward me your details and then I'll make sure that they get it and get their head out of their ass. Because that's not what we promote these brands for. William Nelson, $50. Holy moly. That's going to the Cheesecake Fund tomorrow. You bet. Brother Steve, how are you? I'm running 120 milligrams per week of testosterone cypionate, but I'm getting anxiety. I'm injection 2 times per week. I'm living the lifestyle, but still have some weight to lose. Subcutaneous and more frequent injections also raise anxiety. Labs are all in range. GABA deficiency. If you switch to daily microadministrations, and that would be what? 120 divided by 7, 17 milligrams. I mean, if you did 17 milligrams daily sub-Q and you get anxiety from that, are you just not scared of injecting? Look into Gorilla Mind Calm and maybe supplement with additional GABA before bed. And give that a run, because at such a low dose, if you do daily microadministrations, if you get anxiety from that, it might not even be the testosterone. It might be that you have high blood pressure, or you just, a high anxiety individual. You don't sleep well properly. Anyway, you might be deficient in certain neurotransmitters, including GABA. So, I would look into all of those avenues. But yeah, I'm a little bit at a loss for words why that would happen, unless you have really high blood pressure, or you're just high stress, or you're kind of fat. And when I'm talking about fat, it's like over 25%. So I know. Look at the Gorilla Mind Calm, man. That has like adaptogens that helps you deal with stress. And otherwise, you can look into the what is it called, Emodin, which actually reduces cortisol production by preventing the enzyme that converts corticosterone into cortisol. And that's the one, right? Corticosterone into cortisol, yeah. And then you combine it with Gorilla Mind Calm with ashwagandha root extract, saffron extract, the L-theanine, and a little bit of GABA, I believe. And then maybe supplement with another 2,000 milligrams of GABA on top of that to kind of really increase your GABA levels, or maybe to even take 500 milligrams GABA upon waking to kind of relax, because GABA is a relaxing neurotransmitter. And maybe that helps. But of course, losing more weight and getting your body fat levels under control and getting your blood pressure under control, that would also help. And alternatively, maybe your testosterone cypionate is brewed in a synthetic carrier oil that causes you systemic inflammation acutely. So even if you inject, let's see, 200 milligrams, 120 divided by 200 divided by 7 is, even if you inject 0.8 milliliters, or yeah, 0.08 milliliters, so that's let's say 8 to 9 IUs in the insulin syringe. If you inject that every day with the carrier oil synthetic, then you might get systemic inflammation contributing or causing the anxiety. So I hope I gave you enough answers. But yeah, for $50, I wish I could give you more, but this is kind of what I can provide. Sorry about that. Um, Next time, just do $10. Yeah. Did you get a chance to look at the Arnold prejudging? Yeah, I watched it briefly. So Aaron looked good in the over 35 class, but in the, what was it, heavyweight or super heavyweight, he kind of got outclassed because, well, the top five was in absolute stellar conditioning and have a little bit better shape. And Aaron just needs another 6 to 8 weeks of dieting. He's not in shape yet for this caliber of show. So he just needs to keep dieting. It's that simple. Just keep dieting, keep dieting, keep dieting. And I told him a couple months ago that he would probably end up at 100 kilos, which he didn't believe. And now he's almost there. So it's just a matter of just continuing. And the posing is good. The muscularity is as good as it can be for somebody who's been dieting for a very long time. And now it's just for him, it's the make it or break it moment where he gets absolutely fucking diced and sacrifices a little bit of size, and then does another show a couple of weeks down the line to kind of see how he looks. Hopefully, he can fill out a little bit more because he was a little bit flat at the Arnold Classic, in my opinion. He can be a lot fuller than that, but maybe you wanted to play it safe. But yeah, if you're not in 100% conditioning, then obviously it's a little bit difficult to really peak hard because you can only pull so much water out of the muscle without losing fullness. So for him, it's just a matter of keeping going. But I'm happy that he won the over 35-year-old class. But that doesn't, the overall. But it doesn't qualify you for a pro card. So if you're, what was he, seventh in his super heavyweight class, and that means he has a lot of work to do before he gets to play with the big guys. Like Eric Janicki, for example, I think he just did a crash prep for 8 weeks, and he looked absolutely good, but his posing was a little bit off. I think he was very tired, and that might have cost him the show. And keep in mind that the guy that won the pro cards was the same guy that beat Aaron in Las Vegas. So yeah, there's some work to be done there. But I think if he just keeps going, then eventually it's just a matter of time before he gets it. But it might not happen this prep, because if he diets down more to 100 kilos or maybe even less, where he's absolutely diced, then obviously he's not super full and big anymore. And for that class, for that bodybuilding class, at his height, you need the fullness, which he might not be able to get back if he really diets down hard. So at least he'll get in a good shape if he continues. And I think if he drops out now, or doesn't get absolutely diced and then starts an off season, then he'll face the same problem next time he does a diet, where the diet is 8 weeks longer than he expects it to be. And then by the time the diet is finished, that he shredded, then he lost most of the size that he built in the off season. So you go through this vicious circle of not really making progress, and that's tough. So, but I'm happy he won the over 35. That was a good showing. Let's see. Mike Brum, looking to start growth hormone is genotropin a good start? There's a lot of fake genotropin, so I would go with norditropin or Cysin or something like that. Also, can you remind me of the L-carnitine you said that doesn't burn? Ratio Farm is the one I use, but it still burns, man. It still burns, but I've been so much of it that it doesn't burn in my upper glutes. I think that whole entire area is now numb from all the carnitine shots. So I would start with Norditropin or some generic GH, man. If you're just starting, if you do 2 IUs, just get some cheap generics, and then in the meantime, you try to source some pharmaceutical grade. Simon, welcome to the Vigorous crew. Let's see, Jonas Gumdrop. Would a replacement dose of T3 be in its place? Thyroid stimulating hormone 1.2. So no. Free T3 3.9. That's a little bit low. Free T4 16 picomoles. Yeah, so that's in range. I'm cutting and I'm using 8 IUs of growth hormone. No, so at 8 IUs of growth hormone, you would expect your thyroid stimulating hormone to be like 3.5, 4, 5 milliAUs per milliliter, but your thyroid stimulating hormone is low, and we don't know your total T3 and T4 levels. So I'm not sure if you're supplementing with T4. Your free T3 might be low because your thyroid binding globulin levels are low, and thus the free T3 levels are low because you utilize it faster because it's not bound with thyroid binding globulins. And steroids lower thyroid binding globulins. Did growth hormone increase or lower? Growth, can't remember. Growth hormone, thyroid. I think insulin increased it, but I'm not sure if. Yeah, here, growth hormone can affect thyroid binding globulin levels, generally causes a decrease in thyroid binding globulin concentration. So that means less thyroid hormone is bound, more active in the bloodstream, but it also means that levels drop faster. So from 8 IUs growth hormone, as long as your thyroid stimulating hormone levels are not insanely high, you don't need to supplement with T3 or T4, but you need to check your total T3 and T4 levels. And if you feel that fat loss is stalling or you're not recovering as fast as you should be, then yeah, maybe you need a replacement dose of 12.5 micrograms T4 2 times per day. Let's say morning and afternoon if it keeps you awake at night. And that will be a good place to start. But based on this blood work result, I would say no. After last roundtable, pulled Cialis out and stopped having E2 nipple issues. No longer need an AI. 600 milligrams of test at 15% body fat. Okay. So you're one of the select few that has increased aromatase enzyme expression from Cialis. I was not aware until Dr. Dean mentioned it to me, because all of the scientific evidence I read showed that Cialis at 5 milligrams daily actually lowered estradiol levels, which I mentioned in the video, and also mentioned that Cialis has estradiol lowering effects. But again, in a select few people, it might increase aromatase enzyme expression in adipose tissue, and if you're 15% body fat, then yeah, you have a lot more potential for aromatase enzyme expression. I was aware from telmisartan, albeit again, it's such a rare case. But yeah, that's why we have Dr. Dean on, and Kurt to bring all the new information to the space, because I can't possibly know everything. But it's good to hear that it worked for you. So that's might be something that other people can try as well. Thanks for Chase Iron's Roid Rage. I read that you tried to save my life from food and sugar addiction. Nothing is more fulfilling and more mentally testing than becoming a dad. Begin older with the patients too. Okay. So is the Richard Tutite helping with the patients or becoming a dad? And next time, if you want to thank Chase, then send him the super chat. Not me. If Chase helped you out with the Richard Tutite, I mean, he's been talking about it a lot, and I still have the Methylene Blue video and the Cerebral Lysine video and the DHT Bathweight video and then the Richard Tutite. So we're a little bit, give me another month before the Richard Tutite deep dive is ready. I think about 1 deep dive per week. I think that's reasonable with the amount of research that I do. So, yeah, I'm happy that it helped. In about a month, we'll have a deep dive on it. And next time, please send the money to Chase, because if he's the one that helped you, then he should deserve the credit and the funds, not me. So, all these guys are having a great time in the Arnold Classic, and I'm stuck at home. But otherwise, there would be no work for 3 weeks, because I need 2 weeks to recover from fucking traveling to the United States. 21 here, running 1200, let's say 1500 micrograms Richard weekly, so that's half a milligram Monday, Wednesday, Friday. 500 micrograms SLU-PP332 and 100 milligrams 5-MeO-1-MQ daily. Still have low energy and libido, cutting around 13 to 15% body fat, eating around 2,000 calories. What do I do? You keep cutting until you're 8% body fat to forget about your libido. If you're cutting for a long time and you're still not there yet, then your libido is just going to take a back seat. Nobody has good libido while cutting on 2,000 calories. So keep going. If you still have low energy, then you need mod C or some methylene blue in that, right? Retitrutide is not on the prohibited list. SLUPP332 is not on the prohibited list. 5-amino-1-MQ is not on the prohibited list. Methylene blue is not on the prohibited list. But mod C is. But fuck WADA. None of them are suppressive on the HPTA, and you already made the decision to start injecting shit. Retitrutide is an injectable, so might as well inject the mod C as well. And then you add in 1 milligram mod C every single day or 5 times a week on workout days, and maybe 5 to 10 milligrams methylene blue on workout days or every single day. Watch for the methylene blue deep dive to drop in a couple days. Right, it will drop before you have your care package at home from MA or AA or wherever you're shopping using my discount code. Much appreciated, Simon. And then your energy levels will be tremendously enhanced. Yeah, but you can only have so much energy on 2,000 calories per day if you've been cutting for a while and you're still not there yet. So, libido, forget about it. It's just part of the game, man. And if you're not taking testosterone or HCG or something like that, then maybe your serum testosterone and estradiol levels from a prolonged caloric restrictive state are just bottomed out. Maybe it's time to do some blood work, check your hormone panels. But nobody has good libido on low calories and dieting for a long time. It's just part of the game, right? You have libido when you eat a lot because fucking is a very calorie intensive process. And if you're not eating a lot of calories, then your body's like, oh, fuck this, I'm out. No fucking for you until I eat. You feed me. Thoughts on amlopidine? If no, what magnesium dose? Yeah, I'm not really familiar with amlopidine. What is a blood pressure medication? Calcium channel blocker? Amlopidine. Calcium channel blocker. Yeah, I'm not familiar with calcium channel blocker. Sorry. If no, if you need it, you need it. It's that simple. You don't need to ask me for permission. If you need something to control your blood pressure and a calcium channel blocker is the best opportunity or the best way for you to do it, then go with it, man. Go with it. Do the research. I didn't do the research on lodipine, lodipine, and not amlopidine. Amlodipine, I've never done the research on it, so I don't know if it's a good or bad medication. I've done research on the Nebivolol, and that's about it when it comes to blood pressure management and the beta blockade and telmisartan. So, no, sorry. If no, what magnesium dose would you suggest? And does it matter if I take magnesium in the evening? If I fast as I fast? Also, vitamin C. No, so if you want to take magnesium, you need 200 milligrams or 100 milligrams to 200 milligrams 5 times per day, up to a total of 1,200 milligrams magnesium from magnesium bisglycinate, citrate, or bisglycinate, aka glycinate or citrate. Those are the most bioavailable forms. So a single serving of 400 milligrams of magnesium might not control your blood pressure or improve your heart capacity as I fast. Also, vitamin C. Vitamin C has nothing to do with your blood pressure. So take 2,000 milligrams and shut the fuck up. How to use Helios and how to store it. My Helios, I just store in my storage drawer, so not in the fridge because it's not a peptide. It doesn't need to be stored in the fridge. Peptides I would keep in the fridge because the amino acids could be broken down for bacteria or through temperature fluctuations. But Helios is just clenbuterol and yohimbine. And I would start with maybe 10 micrograms clenbuterol and how much is like 0.5 milligram yohimbine, depending on the formulation. Some formulations are a little bit different. So I would do a quarter cc, assuming that it's 40 micrograms clenbuterol and usually it's 3 to 5 milligrams yohimbine per cc. So I would do a quarter cc bilaterally, so you have 0.5 cc before fasted cardio and again before the workout, and then you have 40 micrograms injectable clenbuterol and let's say 3 to 5 milligrams injectable ribosine, and that's more than enough. Yeah, it's in and out. It works way faster and way shorter than oral clenbuterol and oral yohimbine. So 0.5 cc twice per day, but split that 0.5 cc over 2 quarter cc shots bilaterally. Two months ago, DEXA scanned at 12% without lower abs and ab shit like Dwayne Johnson. Yeah, shit happens. Would you recommend bulking, training abs, or is it just genetics? Train abs and keep dieting, man. Keep dieting until you see your abs. And the 12% body fat, it might not be low enough, right? Depends on how you hold it. Could be that 12% is all in your stomach and your lower back, but not in your arms and legs or your face. So everybody holds it differently. Maybe you just have stubborn lower ab fat and just keep dieting until it's gone. And then you can slowly start increasing the calories from 2000 to 2200, then 2500, then 2750, then 3000, then 3300, then 3600. Right? You slowly increase that over the weeks, the months. Because if you go from 2000 calories to 5000, then guess what? You're going to be just as fat, if not fatter, as where you started from. Andreas Tauber, Anadrol and Tren have synergistic effects. Would it make sense to add these two to a testosterone in a super low dose for a longer cycle instead of more primo? Yes, but you'll experience more side effects than primo. Right? Erythropoiesis, anger management, sweating, shin splints. And Anadrol and Trenbolone have a synergistic effect, and they're quite powerful by themselves. So, yeah, if you want to do a longer cycle, let's say, I don't know, 25 milligrams Anadrol 5 times per week pre-workout, and then 50 milligrams Trenbolone per week, or 25 like I did. And everybody told me I was crazy, but I look better than most people that complain about it. Yeah, and I don't look good. I don't look so good from a bodybuilder perspective, but I look better than the people bitching about, yeah, I did 25 milligrams of train. So start low, build your way up, and yeah, and see how you land. But when in doubt, you just do test primo, low dose Anadrol, and train, and then you get the best of everything. Back hustle, Steve. Wanted to know your two what? Wanted to know your thoughts on Delta sleep inducing peptides. Make sense for somebody to take it. I appreciate it. Also thought on Derek making a great appearance. He looked phenomenal. Oh, the Derek Lunsford. Yeah, Derek looked absolutely great. Yeah, I think it's the best he ever looked. You brought his legs up. Will it be enough to defeat Samson? I'm not sure. Personally, I prefer Derek Lunsford over Samson Dauda, simply because the back double bicep is just fucking dominating in the front double bicep. But he has no chest separation, and then in the side poses, the Samson Dauda looks twice his size. Delta sleep inducing peptide. I did some research on it. I tried it at 1 milligram before bed, and it did not change anything for me. But some people swear by it. So don't take my anecdotal experience for it. I include it in the deep sleep deep dive video series because some people, they get a great response. So just start with half a milligram and increase to 1 milligram, or take 2 milligrams if you need it, and then see where you land. If you don't notice anything on 2 milligrams like I did, then yeah, delta sleep inducing peptide is not for you. Sunday night, 24 hours from now. Thinking about switching out ground bison to ground venison to cut calories. Would there be any downsides? It's probably more expensive. Or you can't cut your fats too low, too long, because then you lose libido. So, but it's all good, man. Dan, what's up? I got your shirts and your watches, but I'll let you know on Instagram. Much appreciated. Arrived today. Saying hello from the Arnold with Aaron, Chase, and Paul. All right, tell everybody hi and give them a big fat hug and squeeze their butt. He told me to squeeze your butt. I haven't seen any pictures on Instagram. It's like the whole meetup didn't happen. I was checking Instagram to see if people are having a good time. And Aaron is posting something now. Okay. Yeah, fuck, man. I feel stupid for canceling and not coming. But I know otherwise I would have lost 3 weeks of my fucking life. And I have so much shit to do before my daughter is born. I can't really miss that much time away from home. So, but tell everybody I said hi. I'll make it up to everybody soon. Brian Tweer, hey Steve, no questions. Okay, good. Thanks for the $10. But I started injectable YK11 from AA, if you know, you know, at 50 milligrams a day, and I'm about 2 weeks in, and the pumps are unreal. Stacking 875 milligrams test and 1,000 milligrams of Primo, as well as 4 IUs of growth hormone. Tell me use text to speech without telling me use text to speech. Okay, so that's good to know. Yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm going to do 30 milligrams injectable YK11 because I do 30 milligrams oral YK11, then sublingual, and then injectable. But I have a feeling it's going to kick my ass. But 1 milligram follistatin and 344s after that. So I'm sure I'm going to regret one decision in this experiment. But hey, Again, we need to make fair comparisons. Nobody allowed me to use growth hormone or Increlex or Primo or Deca or anything else besides Test. So 625 Test and Epicatechin, YK11, and Follistatin it is. But I'm happy to hear that the pumps are unreal. That's what I'm after. Finally, today I felt like, the training is starting to make sense again after 3 weeks back in the gym, 2 months off. And that's from a single serving of Epicatechin. So I can't wait what the future holds. But yeah, I have a feeling that at one point I'm going to have to pull the plug on something. Hey, Steve, what would be a good stack for female libido? I have a video on that. Just type in female libido and you'll get it. Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head, though. I really can't remember. Let me see. Uh, Let me go. What is it called? I'll link it down below for you. Libido. 26 videos on libido. Oh my God. And you still have to ask. The fuck, bro? How to get her libido to match yours. That's the name of the video. Look at that sexy bastard. Oh man. Who wouldn't want to sit on that face? Let's see. Do I have any overlays? Okay, let's go to the timestamps. It's 2 years old. It's a stress, malnutrition, and disrespect. Kills your her libido. Only match girls that match your interests. Take her off the birth control and switch her to copper IUD. Estrogen balance is important. Sex hormone and neurosteroid balance is important. Discuss anabolic steroids, libido boosting peptides. And the best libido booster for women is, well, you're just going to have to watch the video. It's linked down below. Yeah, you'll find it interesting. It works. Hey, Steve, how would you dose the Romasin if I'm trying to go from a estradiol of 90 picograms per milliliter to about 40 picograms, 50 picograms per milliliter? I have 25 milligrams pharma Romasin and can cut it if needed. Okay, in your next question, you don't have to super chat for me, include your testosterone dose, because if this is on natural estradiol, then obviously it's going to be a different protocol than being on testosterone. And if this is on a gamma test, then it's a different protocol as well. So include your testosterone dose in your entire cycle, and then I can answer you because right now I don't know. It's blood work and testosterone dose. Chase hasn't been on lately. Yeah, Chase has been very, very busy being a daddy. So you guys can enjoy me for a couple of months. And then I'm out of here. What happened to Steve? I became a daddy. You got a dad bod. Hit the like button, y'all. Much appreciated, Black Boogie. Black Cowboy Boogie. But again, it's too much work. Did you notice any water retention from 250 milligrams of test? And if so, how quickly did you gain the water rate? Yeah, it seems to come up slowly. I mean, I'm a lot leaner now than before, but I still have a lot of water weight. It's just part of the game, man. After all, you just stop giving a shit. People call you fat. Hey, you look bloated. Whatever, dude. Whatever, man. You can call me everything you want, but it shows that you're miserable. I'm not miserable. I'm happy as fuck. So water retention will come up slowly over 4 weeks, let's say. And then in 4 weeks, you can try to diet a little bit. So the water retention is kind of filling in the fat that you lost so you look cosmetically the same. Yeah, or you just stop giving a fuck. It's the best way, man. People say, you look bloated. My dick is bloated too. You wouldn't be able to handle it. Ask your mom. She can't handle it either. She walks like a cripple now. Hey, you throw in the jokes. So it's just part of the game, man. Steroids make you bloated, and the more steroids you take, the more bloated you will be, especially if you start combining it with insulin, growth hormone, and all that good stuff. All the good stuff that makes you fucking swole. Yeah, it makes you look bloated too. Oh no, how come all these guys are shredded? Oh, because they diet and they take diuretics. For low libido while cutting, should I add in HCG? I've never messed with anything suppressive because I'm 21. Would HCG solo have any effects long term? Yeah, you need to watch the HCG deep dive, and I can't tell you that because you're 21 years old. And I'm not for anybody taking HPTA modulating performance enhancing drugs at 21 years old. So you're going to have to watch the HCG deep dive all by yourself. And dude, I did many diets from 15 years old to 26 years old, drug free, no erythritol, no SLU, PP332, no MOTSI, no nothing. And every time my libido was fucking in the trash. But I had a fucking six pack. And then when I was shredded at 72, 74 kilos, yeah, all the bitches that approached me, I didn't want to have sex. I just didn't give a shit. So then you kind of phase out of that dieting phase when you're shredded, and then you go from I don't know 6%, 8% body fat to 10%, and you have a little bit less abs, but you're horny as a dog, and then yeah, and then the action occurs towards the tail end of summer. You usually cut during summer, or you get shredded for summer, and then all the summer you have six packs, abs, but no interest in sex, and all the girls approach you like, hey, what's up? Just like, I want cake, and I don't want your buns. I want real cake, none of your buns. It's just part of the game, man. Fucking suck it up. I'm a libido is destroyed. Then then don't diet. Don't mess with hormones to bring your libido up because it doesn't matter how much you mess with hormones. Your libido will never be as good while dieting as compared to being in a caloric sufficient state. So, and you're 21. So, not a good idea. Just suffer through it, man. A question like this already indicates how young you are. Is 1 milligram of erythritol good to be run year round to help cutting and prevent bulking fat gain? You're a little bit new to this. Keep researching. Gents, all right. Is there a question with that? Appetite suppression, not kidney. What? Oh God, how are you? I don't know what you mean, bro. Try again. I don't see your text. Try again. Multiple sclerosis at 10% body fat. My lower two abs on my left side seem fused. Everything else is great separation. Like I have a 5 pack instead of a 6 pack. Is this insertion genetic or training? Yeah, that's genetic. That's just genetic, man. You might be able to have a little bit more detail and pop by doing ab raises, right? Or not ab raises, leg raises. So you just hang and then you do leg raises, so you stimulate the lower abs. You might be able to create a little bit of a pop. I see it in your abs, but yeah, sometimes it's genetics. My abs are crooked as fuck too, man. I still got married and I still got laid. Remember, once if the face is very close to the abs, then the dick is already in the mouth, and then you're already in. So the girl's not gonna, with your dick in her mouth, she's not gonna mumble like, "Oh, your abs are totally unfuckable," and then she's gonna go home. It's not gonna happen, man. Take it from me. Even when you have no abs, once the dick is in the mouth, they're not gonna leave. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about your appearance so much. Have a little bit of confidence, enjoy yourself. And if you have a 5 pack instead of a 6 pack, you're just one beer short. It's all right. You can still get fucking drunk on 5 beers. So chill. But yeah, do some hanging leg raises, and you might be able to improve that detail in the lower abs. CD. Hey Steve, just out of interest, what would be a good test anadrol trend cycle? How much of each compound? I think I remember one of your videos. You said it's the ultimate cycle. Now we discussed that with Kurt Havens because you have test, train, and anadrol have a good synergy amongst each other because they're a little bit different classifications of steroids. But I don't know what your background is, so I'm going to play it moderate and say 200 tests or maybe 300 tests per week, 50 milligrams trend per week, and 25 milligrams anadrol pre-workout. And then if that doesn't work after 6 to 8 weeks, then bump up the dose. If you like the synergy, just start somewhere, increase where needed, do your blood work in between. It's the same for every cycle. Doesn't matter which compounds you run. Look at my video history. I do blood work every time I make an adjustment. Just every fucking time. Steve, how can be so OCD? How come you spend so much money on blood work? Yeah, because I want to know. I'm smart. So I don't run into problems. Because you could have major estrogen surge of the testosterone, and then the trembolone you have progestogenic signaling, and the anadrol can also bind to the estrogen receptors allegedly based on its chemical structure, even though there's no scientific evidence to prove for that. So you have high estrogen, if you don't take an aromatase inhibitor, and Trembolone progestogenic signaling, increasing prolactin levels, and then Anadrol, and then your tits are gonna be like this big, dude, like this, like fucking tatas, and then you have to do gyno surgery. So it sounds like a good cycle on paper, but without blood work, you might run into issues, dude. And then we'll hear about you 3 weeks from now. Like, Steve, I have symptoms of gyno, and I don't know what's going on. Is it estrogen? Is it prolactin? Should I take Caber? Should I take Aromacin? Should I take Nolvadex? Should I take Raloxifene? Should I take Mastrone? And you get into this vicious roller coaster of drug use, when in reality, you should just be keeping track of your blood work frequently so you can see the trend increases and then make the appropriate adjustments before your nipples are on fire. Yeah. Yes, that injectable YK11 at 30 milligrams will definitely kick your ass. Okay. Wait. Can't wait. It's been a while since I got my ass kicked by drugs. Hey, Steve, my question has been skipped over twice. Maybe it's not popping up or something, but I'll post it again. I didn't see it, dude. I see you remember, but like my spam filter is pretty extensive. So if you're asking something that's in the spam filter, I'm not going to post my spam filter comments publicly because then people are just going to put a 1 or an O or 0 and then circumvent it. People are dicks. Yeah, see, Jens also is not getting his question through. Let's see. E-Town, Sensei Steve. Thank you. ATG 250 IOs every other day is absolutely fantastic. I'll be in Thailand for 3 weeks soon. If I do not grab any over there, will I shrivel like a raisin or can I wait until I return home? If you're here for 3 weeks, then yes, I would get it here. And it's pretty easy to source here, even though it's all urine purified ATG. But yeah, I don't know. Shoot me a message on Instagram. And if your Instagram profile is not 0, right? You actually look like a real person that works out and not this, FBI. Then I might be able to send you the starter kit by email, and then I'll tell you exactly where you can source ATG in Thailand. That is good quality. Yeah. Not everybody starts sending me emails right now, DMs. I know it's already starting, right? Let me see. And I prefer to only send the Thailand starter pack to people that I met in the gym. So, because you got to protect your sources, man. Too many nut jobs out there. Current cycle 140 test E, 140 primo, 20 milligrams of VAR. Okay, so what was the question again? Estradiol is 90 on 140 test and 140 primo. Are you sure that estradiol that 140 primo is primo, bro? Because it sounds like you're on 280 milligrams of test with this high estradiol. And a 1-to-1 ratio of test and primo, you should not have such high estradiol. 25 milligrams of Aromacin, 12.5 milligrams Monday, Friday, until you source some real primo, and then you take the Aromacin out and replace the bunk primo that you have now for legitimate primo to keep your estradiol in range. Know what you're on about, dude. Appetite suppression, no kidney suppression. And you keep paying for something, but I don't see your question besides this. So I don't know what you're talking about, gents. But yeah. Oh, somebody's late to the party. Steve, I don't know if you heard, but according to the information I got from Insider, Bayer stopped producing Rimabolin. Dude, go to last week's Vigorous Q&A where I put it as a fucking thumbnail. Rip, Bayer, Rimabolin. So another company is going to start producing it in 250 milligram ampules. Yeah, I've heard that too, but it's even more unconfirmed. So yeah, you're a little bit late to the party, but I appreciate your message. Last week I titled the video, Rest in Peace Rimabolin, because I heard this 2 weeks ago, and then I felt inclined to inform you guys. So maybe your insider got it from me and then told you, and now you're trying to relay this message through telephone. And then I got to tell Steve something. It's okay. Brandon Knott, $100. Holy moly. Look at the burgundy red. Just got a bonus. I thought I'd pay some of it forward as a thank you for the hours of content I've benefited from. Good luck with the new edition and recovery, and keep the content flowing. I promise I will keep the content flowing until I run out of time taking care of my kid. But for now, I got so much extra staff that should be okay. Much appreciated. I always feel like a stripper when somebody throws me $100. Yeah, even though strippers ask for more for private lap dances nowadays. But yeah, I'm not going to give you a private lap dance, but I will provide the content for free. So the $100 is greatly appreciated, Brandon. $50 for the cheesecake and $100 for the sushi. Tomorrow's going to be a great day. How fast to increase calories out of a cut? 10% increases. 2,000 calories to 2,200, 2,200 to 2,000. What is it? 520 or 2,600, and then 3,000, and then 3,300, and then 3,700, and 4,000, 4,500. Right, 10% give or take. And at one point, you don't have to increase your protein intake anymore. You can actually lower your protein intake and increase your carbohydrate intake, because additional carbohydrates are protein sparing. So you might end up with 200 grams of protein and 1,000 grams of carbs. Yeah. Love how cheap Solana is. Don't get married to altcoins, bro. I'm all into Bitcoin, but the altcoins, I'm going to wait. Unless you like a swing trade. Where were we? 85, 200. Fuck, man, what a dip. I'm not gonna lie, I had to liquidate like 4 times on the way down. This is the bottom. Nope. This is the bottom. Nope. This is the bottom. Nope. And then you're waiting at the CME gap and it doesn't fucking hit. So I didn't get the buy. Where did I get? I think I got in around 80,000. Yeah. But I think like if you do the average, it's probably like 81.5 or something with all the fucking what is it, exchange fees. That like if you do like 4 trades on the way down and you lose like a couple percent every time, and then the exchange fees on top of that. Oh man. Oh man, you guys don't want to know. But at least I got up on top. Buddy, I don't know what you're on about. Send me from an Instagram account, because your messages are clearly not going through, and you're asking appetite suppression and no kidney suppression. I don't even know what you mean. All right, here. There's no text. There's no text. Here's no text. If your Instagram account has the same name as here, then you can send me a message. And otherwise, yeah, I don't know, bro. I don't know. American Enigma. Hello, sir. What do you think about adding 50 milligrams of Tren E QD every day with a growth hormone 2 I use nightly, Masteron 200 milligrams twice weekly, 30 milligrams per Viron every day, testosterone cypionate 200 milligrams twice weekly, Turinabol 50 milligrams for 4 weeks, Beachbody ready. You can be Beachbody ready on 250 milligrams testosterone per week, and you fucking know it. And you fucking know it. So you want to do 350 milligrams of Tren, 400 milligrams Masteron, 210 milligrams per Viron, and 400 milligrams test. And Turinabol, 50 milligrams. I don't think you need that much to be Beachbody ready. I can be Beachbody ready on 250 tests. I'd sound like a dick here, but you don't need that much. Will you look good? Absolutely. If you diet and you train properly. And again, it doesn't really matter what I think of the cycle. It matters that you get the effects that you're after with minimal side effects. Now, if I were to run this compound, this stack, my SHBG would be 0, because the Proviron and Masteron will crush my SHBG. The Masteron might lower estradiol levels, but the Proviron surely will for this much testosterone cypionate. So estradiol might be low, which is good, because you don't get so much progestogenic signaling, and prolactin increases from the Trenbolone, potentially causing gynecomastia with the Masteron should block to a certain extent. And then the Turinabol acts as a aldosterone synthase inhibitor, so it will make you look drier on top of the Masteron, but it might also make you cramp. And 2IU's growth hormone in this stack is not enough to give you a boatload of water retention. So technically it works. Your estradiol might be too low, your SHBG might be too low, your libido might not be ideal, and you might have cramping from this much Turinabol. So I don't know. Give it a try and report back to us in 4 weeks, and then let's see if I was right. But Beachbody, dude, 200 tests, 200 mastodon. Shut the fuck up. Unless your beach body, your idea of a beach body is like looking, bigger than me at 100 kilos. Hey Steve, this is the first live stream I've got in a while, so my apologies if the question has been asked. Dude, it's the same questions every week. It doesn't matter. What is your experience with Vortioxetine? I took 2.5 milligrams for, was it 2 weeks, and it killed my libido and my dick. And then I combined it with 3 milligrams methylene blue, and I got full blown serotonin syndrome. So the Vortioxetine went in the trash, and I haven't touched it again. But other people have great response to Vortioxetine. They say it's a life changing medication. But compared to fluvoxamine, which doesn't kill my libido and doesn't kill my erections and puts me in just of a great mood, like the mood enhancing effects that I got from Vortioxetine were just as good as an effective dose of fluvoxamine. The only reason why I wanted to try Vortioxetine is because, based on scientific evidence, it's a little bit better for neurogenesis and cognition. So, that's why I wanted to try it. But enhanced cognition at the expense of your penile function, no thanks, dude. I'd rather be a little bit dumber and have good sex. Gents, I think I'm gonna have to block you, dude, because this looks like spamming to me. I don't see any questions. All you do is send money. So I'm not sure what you're on about. Pascal, hey, I've started taking Nebivolol in September to protect my heart on 160 milligrams testosterone. Why would you protect your heart on TRT? Suddenly, I feel pretty bad. Brain fog, anhedonia, and just weird outlook on life. Ever heard of such a response? No. Nebivolol can lower testosterone levels through beta blockade. But if you're already on TRT, then then I think you circumvent that. So if you suspect that the Nebivolol is giving you brain fog, anhedonia, and a weird outlook on life, then stop it. It's that simple. You don't have to protect your heart on 160 milligrams testosterone unless you're morbidly obese. Based on the picture, you don't look morbidly obese. And it will be better to protect your heart from obesity by getting your body fat levels down. So no, if you live the lifestyle, you eat healthy, you do your daily fasted cardio, I don't think you need Nebivolol on testosterone. You can use Cialis as a blood pressure medication, and Cialis, since it gives you great boners, it will probably improve your outlook on life. So take the Nebivolol out, use 5 milligrams Cialis as a blood pressure medication to protect your heart from high blood pressure, and then let the boners dictate your quality of life. I've never heard of such a response. I know that Nebivolol can reduce hormone levels, but next, Drew Vogel, welcome to the Vigorous queue. All right, we went through all the questions. Okay, let me go to the bathroom real quick, and then and then we're gonna continue. Today I trained, so I have like 3 liters of water in me, and then you have to pee pee a lot. Sorry, I was muted. I'm back. So Jens is asking about appetite suppression but no kidney impact. He's speaking about broken English and asks if there's a drug that gives appetite suppression that isn't kidney toxic. Uh, as far as I know, retatrutide and tirzepatide are not kidney toxic, but if your English is not good, then my explanation will probably fall on deaf ears. So, Jens, retatrutide, tirzepatide, good luck doing research. But if you don't speak English real well, then it's probably best if you stick to people that speak your language and ask around there. Right on, Simon's trying to decode what Jens was saying. Yeah, this is an English speaking channel. So, and if you post this one more time, then I'm just gonna ban you, dude, because it's getting a bit repetitive. 8 tips on reducing acid reflux when taking Cialis. Apple cider vinegar and beta hydrochloride. I have a video on that. Just type in acid reflux in the search bar, you'll get it. Buddha to Zeus. Hey, Steve, no question this week. Just want to say thank you. Appreciate all that you do for the community, even if these other bums don't hit the like. Yeah, oh, I've gotten used to it now. It's too much effort to press the like button. But any like buttons is highly appreciated. And dude, if we have more guys like Brendan here, sending 100 fucking bucks for no reason, and what was the other guy? $50, even though I feel a little bit guilty for not having a good answer for him. Where is he? Where'd he go? Oh, here, William. All right, with the anxiety question, like then it makes it all worthwhile, man. It's 150 bucks in the pockets. It doesn't matter how much you like. It makes it all worthwhile. I'm looking for information on peptides. Do you have any experience with the question I asked above about ipamorelin and tesamorelin? Growth hormone secretagogues work if you're young. And if you want information on these peptides, then you go to PubMed and you type in ipamorelin or tesamorelin, and then you read scientific literature showing that they increase growth hormone secretion at particular dosages. And there's maybe 5 studies on ipamorelin and 5 studies on tesamorelin, so you'll be done in like an hour. So that's where you can find the information. This is where I get all the information from. I'm just not interested in making videos about growth hormone secretagogues because I don't believe that they really work, and I feel like a sellout talking about them. So I have the growth hormone secretagogue cheat sheet where I combined everything into a single video. You can find it on my YouTube channel. It's very easy to find. You just type in cheat sheet and you'll get it. Kiefer, I train in the evening, last meal after a workout. I pin growth hormone before bed. Doesn't matter how long after the meal to pin. Raised blood glucose from eat affected. Yeah, so it depends on what you eat. So if you eat a boatload of simple carbs, then it's obviously not a good idea. But you also trained, which increased insulin sensitivity. So unless you're pinning like 89 use growth hormone before bed, I doubt insulin sensitivity and insulin resistance is going to be an issue. I like it pre-bed and then doing fast cardio in the morning. Yeah, so last meal of the day, what I have is steak and vegetables, and that's it. That's it. And then I pin my growth hormone, but unfortunately, I'm not allowed to use growth hormone right now because I do the follistatin experiment. So, but if I were to inject growth hormone at 10 IUs or something, then yes, my last meal would just not contain any carbs, and I train later in the evening. So yeah, well, the meal post workout is some fruit, maybe 50 grams to 70 grams of fruit from or carbs from fruit. Fuck's sake, carbs from fruit, and then I have another meal before bed, about 2 hours before, and then I pin my growth hormone around the same time. So it kind of depends what your last meal looks like. But if you just trained and then have a last meal and then pin growth hormone, assuming you trained hard, it's probably going to be fine. Having trouble finding real Bayer Remobolin. I don't know what to do. All the other sites I look are fake. Any help to stock up Bayer Remobolin? I'm devastated. Check out my website, but Bayer Remobolin is being discontinued, so there's probably not much stock left. It's not being produced anymore, so or apparently. So whatever stock you can find, all the websites, all the affiliates that I have, they have legit. It might already be sold out. Might already be sold out, man. I didn't even bother looking because it's fucking $18 and $36 per ampule, and I pay basically nothing for my gear now. So I'm just gonna stick UGL Primo from a reputable UGL and just use that if I wanted to use Primo. Don't worry, I've pinned thousands. Yeah, I think I must have gone through like 500 ampules of Bayer Remobol in my life. Currently on 5 milligrams methylene blue, feel amazing. Adding into SLUPP332. Should I run it on 8-week cycle as long as blood work looks good? What blood work should I check? So at a low dose of 5 milligrams methylene blue, I doubt you'll see any changes in your blood work. I just reviewed most of the scientific literature, and the problematic dosages of methylene blue are like 50 milligrams upwards per day. So if you take 3 milligrams, 5 milligrams, 10 milligrams, at most you might see a slight increase in hematocrit and red blood cell and count. And of course, that might be exacerbated if you take boldenone or primobolan or anadrol, or you have sleep apnea or something else that can increase red blood cell count, like a carnivore diet, for example. But on 5 milligrams, I doubt you'll see any significant changes in your blood work. Noah, Steve, HCG and HMG, how would you dose it to improve sleeping parameters currently? Jeez, fuck, did I just release a video about this? 1,000 IOs HCG, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and 75 IOs HMG every single day. Yeah, that is the way. And replace the urine purified HCG and urine purified HMG for recombinant HCG and recombinant follicle stimulating hormone at 75 IOs every single day. For the follicle stimulating hormone, and 1,000 IOs recombinant HCG Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then your semen parameters will be absolutely great. But it could be that you have impaired testicular blood flow, like I mentioned in the male fertility video, causing that these peptides are not entering the testicles as they should, and then spermatogenesis is still impaired because the blood flow to the testicles is impaired. So watch that video. What are your top 5 must-have general supplements? Multivitamin, just to, cover all bases. Citrus bergamot, astragalus root extract, TUDCA, and N-acetylcysteine. Yeah, but preferably injectable glutathione. I would consider that a supplement too. Multivitamin, citrus bergamot, astragalus root extract, TUDCA, and N-acetylcysteine. As you consider testosterone, insulin, IGF-1, and growth hormone to be a supplement on top of your endogenous production, yeah, then you might as well go with those. And then you add in the T4 on top. Bioidentical hormones, baby. Hypermetal instant FDA approved. Tesamorelin is, if you make sure it's used injected without endotoxins. Yeah, well, most of the sources are pretty good at not having trace amounts. Did you say peptides don't work? No, growth hormone secretagogues don't really work. When you compare it with exogenous growth hormone, you might get 3 IUs, 4 IUs at maximum if you're like below 30 years old. But if you're over 40 years old, dude, you get 1 IU, 2 IUs growth hormone at maximum. And these growth hormone secretagogues are more expensive than exogenous growth hormone. So why the fuck, if you're spending $10 on these growth hormone secretagogues, why don't you put $10 into growth hormone? You get way more IUs, way more. So why bother? Why bother? Thank you for always helping us with your knowledge. I definitely appreciate it and can't wait for the deep dive on methylene blue. Yeah, stay tuned. We'll be dropping soon. I think this guy gets it. Doing? Oh my god. Thanks for your knowledge. Hopefully I do not look like Fed. Let me see. Let me see if you look like a federal agent or not. I am definitely not a federal agent. All right, you're approved. I'll send you the Thailand starter kit when. Oh, you've been to Thailand before, dude. Or do you live in Thailand? I see. I see. We'll work something out. I'll send you the kit, the starter kit later when I'm done with the channel or with the Vigorous Q&A. Let's see. Dubster Buster. Hey, he's smart. He does the super chat and then the question. Hey, Steve, no question. Just wanted to tip about AMLA, Indian gooseberry. It's an impressive scientific effects on lipids. I never heard you talk about AMLA, so I wanted to share this. All right. AMLA, Indian gooseberry. May promote heart health. Philanthus umbilica. Is that the one? Indian gooseberry. All right. Uses, traditional medicine, lipids. Does Examine have something on this? Examine.com. Improving metabolic health. All right. Bookmarked. Done. I'll give it a read. Any sources where I can buy this? Probably iHerb probably has it, right? Especially what the Fed would say. Yeah, but that's why I always ask people to send me, from your Instagram page, you can kind of scroll down, see what's going on. And if it's a new page that, has pictures, like 400 pictures, but they're all a week old, then you're like, not so fast, buddy. Alvaro, hey Steve, I noticed clinics push secretagogues a lot in the US because that's the only thing they can prescribe. They can prescribe GH. Yeah, but in the fitness community, we know better, or we should. Right? So, of course, I understand everybody has to make money, but a lot of these clinics just prescribe shit because they want to make money and not really care about the individual. But I'm a coach. I used to coach. I care about people getting the best results. So if my advice doesn't align with clinics in the US, then because I don't like enclomiphene and I don't like growth hormone secretagogues and it makes them lose money, then big fucking deal, right? I'm entitled to my opinion based on, well, a fuck long time in the bodybuilding space and having read more studies than most people on these things. So yeah, I'm just going to tell you what works and what doesn't. And then if you still want to use growth hormone secretagogues, go right ahead. But you'll probably spend more money on growth hormone secretagogues than you do on growth hormone, like I mentioned in the growth hormones cheat sheet. Agatayonerk. All right. Hey, Steve, I'm using Tristalon estradiol valerate every day and Trenbolone acetate 80 milligrams every fifth day. Why not just do daily microadministrations? Do you think adding testosterone even a low amount helps erections even better via acetylcholine system? I think you're trying to reinvent the wheel, and that's why your libido is shit. So take the estradiol valerate out, add in the testosterone and maybe HCG, and I don't think you have anything to worry about regarding acetylcholine. And if you're worried about acetylcholine, that's what the GDP choline or alpha GPC or uridine 5-monophosphate is there for. Or what huperzine A prevents the breakdown of choline. So all those things you can look into, but using Ment and estradiol valerate and Trenbolone, it doesn't surprise me if your libido and erections are shit because it sounds like a weird stack. You need testosterone, bro, for some DHT. DHT works on your erections. That's been scientifically proven. Yeah, but my hair loss. What do you want? Do you want hair or boners? Sometimes you can't have both. I have both. I have hair and boners. Unfortunately, I don't have a boner right now, but when I need a boner, it's ready for me. Yeah, and I take testosterone without the 5-alpha-reductase inhibitor. Fuck that. It's not necessarily a scam because some people just don't want to take growth hormone, right? And they don't know any better, so they get informed by the clinics. And if if they offer, if they can't source growth hormone and the growth hormone secretagogues through a clinic is the only option, then it's, well, in my opinion, better than nothing. But I think we know a little bit better. Steve Cranky. Oh man, you've not seen me cranky for a while, but I can when I throw the tremboloni sandwich in it. I'm gonna rage quit every day. 25 milligrams per deciliter glucose 1.5 hours after 160 gram carb meal. Bad. It could be an excessive insulin response from that much carbs. Why would you eat that much carbs in one meal when you can have 2 meals of 80 carbs? Maybe the glycemic index is too high, right? Too much uh, simple sugars. So yeah, it sounds pretty low. Sounds pretty low. That's legit. Similar to 20 milligrams simvastatin and decreasing blood pressure. Okay. 500 milligrams amla. Can you get it in iHerb? Let's see. La Indian gooseberry. All right, I have it. It's like one company that sells it. Dodgy as fuck. Fortunately, Amazon is always such a pain in the ass to get it here. Full spectrum amla fruit from Swanson's. Yeah, we'll give it a run. Maybe you can stop taking citrus bergamot and ezetimibe, even though that works pretty well too. I mean, my lipids were pretty good last time. Most enjoyable, Cranky Steve, when somebody asks about a HIIT protocol. Yeah, I still get people paying for consultations. It's insane, dude. They pay like an hour consultation for a HIIT protocol, even though I specifically mentioned on my website I don't do a HIIT protocol. Unbelievable. I hopped on my first cycle, 300 milligrams testosterone propionate per week, subcutaneous daily. Today's day 5, 300 milligrams or 333 micrograms HCG. It's probably IUs, not micrograms. 3 times per week, 6.25 milligrams aromasin 3 times per week. I'm very worried to get gyno. Well, go do your blood work and then see if your estradiol is elevated. But it could be elevated on this much test plus HCG. You might need 12.5 milligrams of aromasin 3 times per week. And then, of course, if I tell you to take more aromasin, then you're worried about having libido issues. So go do your blood work if you're worried. Check your estradiol, check your prolactin levels. And if you're really, really worried, keep roloxifene on standby. But yeah, side effects will manifest, man. One way or another. You will get hair loss, acne, gynecomastia, anxiety. A boatload of side effects can occur. That's the route you chose. So be ready with the blood work clinic and having roloxifene on standby. This chick swore up and down last night that my junk grew in the last 8 months of running mostly tests. Yeah, it happens, dude. There's no scientific evidence to support it, but I think on steroids, your dick just gets bigger. Increased blood flow, and you're fucking horny all the time, so you have more blood flow during the day and night. You know, wait until the DHT and bathmate protocol drops, then that chick will swore left and right, up and down, cowboy, reverse cowgirl, and deep throat all the way to the bank with like 4 inches to spare. It's already here, but I got 4 inches left. Oh no! Steroids, man. Steroids does that to the penis. There's no such thing as a free ride with PEDs. Yeah, there's no free rides, man. There's no free rides. I can't believe people are still asking about HIIT protocols. Yeah, it doesn't matter how many people you block, the dumb questions will still come, man. It's part of it. Have a great weekend. Love the shirt. Yes, I love the shirt too. Second iteration. The previous one is way too tight. Another food growth hormone question: how long to pin growth hormone after eating carbs? Until your blood glucose levels are normal again. And again, it depends on how much carbs you're eating, what your glycemic index is, what your insulin sensitivity is, how much carbs you had before that. So get a glucometer and check your blood glucose levels. If it's 100 milligrams per deciliter, you should be okay. You've mentioned over 50 milligrams Anavart daily is not tolerable. Over 25 milligrams per day. What made it not tolerable? I get fucking angina. I get angina, dude. It's scary. It's scary. I mentioned I have a video on this. Uh, so I got fucking angina. And most people just get insane pumps from 25 to 50 milligrams Anavar. So if you're running 25 milligrams Anavar and you don't get insane pumps and contraction to the point like where you're walking, you get crazy shin splints and do you brush your teeth and your whole forearm is locked up, then your Anavar is not legit. You know, it's that simple. It's that simple. That's why I prefer to use Merrick Health. I don't bullshit. Get good products and I care about my health, what I put in my body. Yeah, all the guys that I know from Merrick Health, they're very forthcoming on what they prescribe, and negotiate and give you suggestions rather than today you have to take this and then try to upsell you. So that's why I like to work with Merrick Health. And I know many of these guys that work there personally, and they're all fucking knowledgeable. So this is the go-to TRT clinic in the US. And if they can probably prescribe growth hormone, secretagogues, and that kind of stuff, but it's only on consent and if they feel you need it. And in even in that case, it's not always required. Let's see. Raphael, iron and saturation went up from 225 to 265 micrograms per deciliter, 53 and 70% after donating. Ferritin up to 56. Hematocrit and red blood cell count went down. Iron was normal 2 years on TRT. Help. It could be a normal fluctuation, like iron in serum is coming from your diet or tissue. So even if you donate, it could mean that the iron just temporarily increases in the bloodstream if it's coming from tissue, or you had a meal that contained iron from beef, for example. Hema iron is very bioavailable, easy to absorb, and thus it ends up in the bloodstream. And if your ferritin goes down, then your iron saturation obviously goes up because you have more iron in the bloodstream but less ferritin, and thus the saturation of the ferritin is higher. Ferritin 56 is pretty low. So as long as your hematocrit and red blood cell count went down, then you're good. But yeah, on cycle, you might have increased iron absorption. Just look at the IP6 if you're worried. Inositol or hexaphosphate. Inositol hexaphosphate? I always forget this. IP6. iPhone 6? No. Bro. Google, what are you doing? Nobody cares about iPhone 6. Inositol hexaphosphate. That's the one. Oh, where are we? Game theory. Have you heard of anybody having an inflammatory reaction using Hikma Test E? Yeah, it's not a brand I would recommend. Carry is sesame oil, but they use chlorobutanol as a preservative and it elevated my CRP. It wasn't in your oil village. Yeah, so I didn't go into the preservatives, but sesame oil should be okay, but chlorobutanol is not something I would recommend. So this is one of those brands that I don't really get behind. So I would say no. I mean, I think I offer plenty of alternatives on the website. So yeah, I would go with the one that I use. It has MCT oil and benzyl alcohol, and at least they specifically mention if it contains ethyl oleate and higher concentration products. So those are not indexed on my website, and I told them to change it, but they're like, some people prefer this high concentration, and there's not much we can do about it. So it is what it is. What cheat meal do you have planned for tomorrow? We are undecided. Um, I was talking to my wife, what should we have? And if we're kind of bored with sushi now, we're kind of bored with steak restaurants. Uh, I don't know, man. I don't know. I guess we'll figure it out tomorrow. Yeah. I had a good week of dieting. I lost quite a bit of fat, but I don't really feel hungry. So I guess we'll just walk around in a mall somewhere and go somewhere. There's a new steak restaurant in Thailand or Bangkok called Wolfgang Steakhouse. And I checked the menus. I didn't feel hungry. So maybe I have to look at a menu and feel hungry, like you're salivating, like, fuck, man, I want to eat here. Who knows? Maybe I'll just go to Cheesecake Factory. Get some sloppy food. Get a cheesecake afterwards. Then next week I'll face all around and shit. Mohammed, hey Steve, currently I'm running 600 milligrams testosterone anthate, 350 milligrams primo, 300 milligrams masteron anthate weekly, 10 AOs generic growth hormone daily, 20 milligrams Anavar pre-workout. Hand numbing is insane. Should I lower the growth hormone to how much instead of 10 IUs? Half it to 5 IUs and take 5,000 milligrams taurine over the day, so the 1,000 milligrams with meals, and increase your potassium intake. And then if that doesn't work, then you might need telmisartan or sodium glucose type 2 inhibitor, which can also diffuse a little bit of water from the body, including the areas where it numbs the nerves. But I would just drop the growth hormone to 5 IUs, or maybe switch brands from generic to a better generic or pharmaceutical, which doesn't really seem to potentiate that much water retention. So maybe the purity of your growth hormone is just not up to par, and thus you have a lot of water retention. And otherwise, 40 milligrams telmisartan or 25 milligrams Jardion's sodium glucose type 2 inhibitor, one or the other in combination might be able to shuttle some water off you and then lower the carpal tunnel. But 5,000 milligrams taurine and a good amount of additional potassium in your diet from low sodium potassium salt or more vegetables, that might also help. Started from 4 IUs 10 months ago. So did you go from 4 IUs and then 10 IUs, or 4 IUs, 6 IUs, 8 IUs, 10 IUs? Go to the previous increment where you didn't have hand numbing effects after adding in all the good stuff. I have a crazy cheat meal for tomorrow. It's called Bandeja Paisa. Bandeja Paisa. Red beans with pork, white rice, and carne. This looks pretty good. Yeah, it looks varied. Some veggies, some eggs, banana. This looks pretty good, man. It looks like a buffet meal. It's like a little bit of everything. It's like an English breakfast, but then South America style. Might have to get this too. No, 4, 6, 8, 10. So whatever you didn't get carpal tunnel on, go back to that dose. Add in the potassium and the taurine, and maybe telmisartan and the sodium glucose type 2 inhibitor. And then once the numbing is gone, then you slowly start increasing again to see if it comes back. King David, does anybody else here have a sweet tooth? What food do you like to eat for non-cheat days? So if you have a sweet tooth, then fruit is your only go-to. Strawberries, blueberries, mango, pineapple, that kind of shit. That's approved on non-cheating days, but on a cheat day where everything goes, fucking eat what you want, man. That's what I do. You go to the grocery store and then you see Ben and Jerry's. It's like $15 because it's imported. You're like, fuck, should I go with the Ben and Jerry's? Yeah, fuck it. Just go with the Ben and Jerry's. And you sit there chomping away, whatever flavor that I feel like. Yeah, or some cheesecake or some licorice. Good stuff, man. Can't wait to eat tomorrow. Hey, Steve, last question was my friend on my account. Okay. I just bumped the test properly to 250 milligrams to 375 milligrams per week. Trainable, 20 milligrams, 6 and 8 weeks. Wait 4 months and 500 milligrams for 4 months. And Anavar, 200 milligrams, 6 to 8 weeks. After cruising next cycle in next chat. Okay. Keep typing away, bro. Where's the rest of your question? I don't get any chat updates anymore. Did the chat freeze? Yeah, that's the last one. All right. I'll just wait. Do you like salmoniac since you like licorice? Man, that's my kryptonite. I went to the Holland, right, for 3 days or something. I went to 2 places. I went to the gym and I went to Jamin. Jamin is like a candy store in Holland. It's been there for decades. So they have aisles of different licorice and candy. And you just get a bag, punzak. It's like a tapered bag. And you just fill up like 3 of this, 3 of that, 3 of this, 5 of that. And you just go past all of the buckets of candy. And guess what? When I'm done, the entire bag is black from licorice. Yeah, kilo. Used to cost 5 guilders. Now it's like $15. And it's about 30 guilders. So, inflation, that kind of shit. And you bring it home, you eat it in a day. And then yeah, terrible. And then the next day you go to the bathroom and it's just pooping black tar. It's nasty. Yeah, I love salmoniac. Licorice is the shit, man. Second one's coming. That's what. There's a joke in there somewhere. 1 second, it's coming. There's a joke in there somewhere. Is everybody watching the Arnold live? Yeah, I think so. That's way more interesting than asking questions here. I mean, that bikini, right? I think those bikini girls are hot, dude. All right, we're gonna skip over Nikolai until he's ready. Still coming. Give him 1 second. I'm scared that something will happen to me and having panic attacks when taking supplements any kind, trying to get rid of this fear for a year. I know I'm sounding like a pussy, but maybe you can help. No, I can't. It sounds like something you need to talk through with a psychiatrist. Um, I, I I wouldn't even know how to address this. So no, I'm sorry. I don't know, bro. I don't know. Just eat healthy. Don't take subs. My cycle 2 years growth hormone plus 333 hours HG next cycle because I'm a fox. I want to keep my hair 400 test prop or E and 400 boldenone instead of primo. Oh, boldenone can make you lose your hair and testosterone also. So let's decipher everything you're trying to say. So you increase the test. Trinidol can cause hair loss. Anavor can cause hair loss. Oh. Test, probe, or E can cause hair loss, and boldenone can cause hair loss. So if you don't want hair loss, nandrolone only cycles. But the rest of your cycle looks fine, man. If the hair loss is not an issue. But yeah, it can all cause hair loss, unfortunately. So I'm not entirely sure what your question is. You think this cycle is a good idea? Yeah, if you train hard. The pumps in the gym after a candy binge are intense, though. Yeah, true. Fuck, I had crazy pumps after. No, I didn't even go to the gym. After I ate that kilo of licorice that I bought in Holland, I just sat on the couch and ate it in a day. And then I went to New Zealand and then I binged there also. And then I didn't even train for another month. So, yeah. But I do remember candy binges giving you insane pumps. Like Tar, yeah. You keep wiping. When is it going to end? Guess we'll take a shower. All right, guys. I think we're going to go for 10 more minutes and then I'm going to throw in the towel. JD had an Anadrol nosebleed yesterday mid workout or today mid workout. Thoughts on taking 2.5 milligrams Nebivolol pre. Resting blood pressure is 110/70. Wrist heart rate is 56. I'm guessing it spikes during the training. So I would rather not take Nebivolol, but take telmisartan and a boatload of magnesium. And don't hold your breath while training. I mean, that also increases your blood pressure. I have a video about why grunting is anabolic because most sports they have some sort of grunt, right? Some sort of vocalization while you're performing something strenuous. I think it's called a kiap in certain martial arts, and that's just to kind of relieve the pressure. So you need to breathe out or scream. Don't hold your breath. Don't give yourself a tension headache. I have a video on that also. Vigorous Steve, I have a video on that. Really, here. I literally watched the grunting video last night. See, Suabe watched it. Why didn't you watch it, JD? What the fuck? Fuck, man. Why do I make all these videos? Anyway, so watch the tension headache video and watch the grunting is allowed video or grunting is anabolic. I can't remember. I made like 1,000 videos, so I can't remember what it's called, but I'm sure you can use the search function to find it. So to reduce your blood pressure, taurine and magnesium supplementation, which I mentioned 1,000 times before. So 5,000 milligrams taurine and up to 1,200 milligrams magnesium citrate or glycinate per day over the day, spaced out over multiple servings. And if that doesn't bring your blood pressure down during the workout, then start with 20 milligrams telmisartan and increase if needed. But again, your blood pressure is low and your resting heart rate is low. So Nebivolol and telmisartan is going to make that lower. And it sounds more that you have an issue breathing during your workout, or you just lift way too heavy. The Anadrol is making me lift 200% too much, and that's why you got a nosebleed. Or you're one of those guys that just bleeds for no reason, like Larry Wheels. Starts bleeding while deadlifting. What the fuck? Thank you, Steve. I'm a huge fan. That made my day. I'm not really sure if I answered your question though, but yeah, for hair loss, I would avoid all of that, or just not give a fuck. This is not the end of the world, man. It's not the end of the world. What are your thoughts on taking vitamin E 600 milligrams daily for blood thinning effects? Yeah, that helps. It's better than taking aspirin. I take fish oil and vitamin E every single day, and I never had a clotting issue. Never. So, and I recommend it to most of my clients. You should make a you should make a shirt with these quotes. It's that simple. I have a video of that. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. What the fuck, bro? Look at this. Actually, kind of small now. No? I need to get back on a proper cycle. Is this better? Is this any better? Ooh, chest shelf. I think it's popping off the bone. Bro, look at this shit. I didn't realize I was saying that so often. Yeah, I should have like at Vigor Steve. I have a YouTube on that, a video on that with a QR code that goes to the search bar. I said, Steve, what do you think about just scan this, and type it in there? Shut the fuck up. Leave me alone. Let's talk about crypto. It's that simple. Do I really say that a lot? It's that simple. I look at this shit. Fuck. I've turned into a meme. Skynet is real. No free rides, but taking responsibility are way better than drugs that people abuse daily or on weekends like alcohol, cigarettes, or weed. Let's get started on the other stuff. Yeah, I abused all of that. I had a great time. I had a great time abusing cigarettes and alcohol and weed. I might have had some alcohol when I was in Pattaya for a little holiday, um, and all the other stuff as well. Yeah, great time. So people are gonna do stuff, man. You can't, people are just gonna be people, and I just let them be until they come to this YouTube channel and start asking me questions. Then I'll give them the truth. But yeah, or at least truth from my perspective, right? There's always another truth from somebody else, but yeah, it's. I think if you do a little bit of research on all the drugs that you take instead of asking it here, and then the Vigorous Q&A would be defunct, right? But if people did a little bit more research by themselves, that's why I put all the citations in the video description, even though nobody clicks them, I'm sure of it. If you do a little bit of research yourself, you can save yourself a lot of problems. Guys, you could save yourself so much problems. I often hear here in my friend circle, like, Steve, you really got your shit together. And it took me a long time to get here, but I always made sure that I was prepared for every decision that I made. And if I wasn't prepared, then I didn't make a decision. Now you can be over prepared and under prepared, but I was still prepared. And I do have my shit together. Yeah, it took a while though. Positive part of PEDs is you're financially invested in exercising. Yeah, because otherwise they don't work. Otherwise, they don't work. You still got to exercise and eat healthy. I mean, we see it in the fitness community all the time. All these problems of people that don't exercise properly, don't eat properly. The PEDs is giving them side effects. You know. So you're like, I'm 300 pounds. I'm going to start TRT. No, you're not. You fat fuck. No, you're not. You're going to get lean first. And if you want to get lean, use retrotide. But learn how to diet on retrogenic also, because otherwise you give yourself osteoporosis. Like that girl, I had semaglutide gave me osteoporosis. No, bitch, you didn't eat correctly. Even though your appetite was suppressed, doesn't mean you don't have to eat healthy. Fuck. I guess I think it's time for everybody to go watch the Arnold Classic because there's no more questions, and we've been here long enough. That girl did lots of blow. Yeah, yeah, true. That's the kind of girl that does a lot of blow. I'll suck your dick for free. Suck your dick for blow. All right, guys. Before I go really crazy, let's wrap it up here. This was great. Next weekend we'll be here again. Let's see. Next weekend is what? The 8th of March. Jesus Christ, time flies. And let's see if we can get 2.5 hours in. And hopefully I don't get my subscribers and Vigorous crew stolen by the Arnold Classic, which is, yeah, just watch the replay, man. You'll get the same results. All right. Peace out. Enjoy your weekend. I'm not sure what I'm going to eat tomorrow, but with 140, $50 in donations, at least it better be fucking good. All right. And we lost monetization from all the swearing, but we rely on super chats. See you guys next week. And